Welcome. This is If My People Bible Reading, Part 127, the book of Ezekiel. And we're going to follow through the scrolls when they were written. So, the 13th scroll, which was the last scroll written, was actually the preamble, or what we just finished in 126. And so that's what Ezekiel put it in that order. So that's not confusing. That so many pastors and people who study Bible apologetics get totally confused with, when they really shouldn't, because almost every book that you buy, and that's why we've gone over and over again. Very important. Read the Bible like a book. So you go to the store, or you go to purchase any book in the last 20, 30 years. There's a preamble. There's introduction. It's either in the book or it's on the fly cover, right? Hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of books. Well, Ezekiel did that too. In fact, he was the first to do it. Okay, so as we go through this, the next reading is chapters 8 through 19, to the end of 19. And then we start scroll 2 there. But it's not going to go in that order as we go through the book of Ezekiel. It kind of switches back and forth. So we're going to follow how he wrote his letters, because those are the visions. As he got a vision, he wrote it on a scroll, and he sealed it, and there it was. So we're going to follow that same order. So the people in those days would have read the scrolls in the order that it was written, not counting the introduction scroll that he wrote, which is very obvious. Very obvious, especially the people in those days. People these days, they just went through all these other Bible books, and it goes from here to there, and here it doesn't. It follows a order by date, because none of the other Bibles, none of the other books in the Bible record it very consistently with the exact date. They follow kings and births and some kind of a date such as that. So let's get into chapter 8. All right. It says, in the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th day, while I was sitting in my house, and the elders of Judah were sitting before me, the hand of Adonai Yahweh came up upon me there. Adonai Yahweh. Yeshua, right? Okay. Let's go to verse 14 there in chapter 8. Then he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the house of Yahweh, and I saw women sitting there mourning for Tammuz. Now, verses 1 through 13 basically is bad news. Yahweh's Adonai Yahweh's going, hey, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that, look at this sin all over the place. It's even in Jerusalem, thick as thieves, and it's even in my temple. And he's going through the details of it. So here, he's at the north gate of the temple area, and he saw women mourning to Tammuz. Now, does that mean anything to you? That's the goddess Ishtar. Okay? So it didn't mean anything for a long, long time, until about 1820, 1830, and then Christmas, and then 1939, 1940, Santa Claus jumped in, and it's just been downhill ever since. The goddess Ishtar mourned Tammuz from the summer solstice to the winter solstice, ending on December the 25th. And who is Tammuz? That was a god, G-O-D, that died, G-A-W-D, in Babylonian language. Christmas, an incredible pagan practice, stems from this system. Western pagan religions. Egypt, that's why they talk about Egypt in there. And also Syrian, they picked it up. The northern tribes, they all picked up on that. Wow. Near Eastern religion, pagan practices bowing to the sun, all worshiping the creation. And this isn't the first time in Ezekiel this is brought up. The creation, and Yahweh's not happy. You're worshiping the creation and not the creator. So, in matter of fact, in verse 17, I'll read it. He said to me, "Have you seen this, son of man? It is a trivial matter in the house of Judah to do detestable things that they're doing here. Must they also fill the land with violence and continually provoke me to anger? Look at them putting a branch in their nose." And then in other parts we read where about people in those days did weird things such as dragging live trees in their house and decorating them with ornaments. Yahweh's not happy with that. Well, Yahweh didn't say Christmas, so it must be okay. He just said something about trees. That doesn't mean it's a Christmas tree with ornaments on it. It's their tree in the time of Christmas with ornaments on it. In other words, the argument is fruitless. Produces no fruit. And what does Yahweh say about a plant that produces no fruit? What does he do with it? Right. Goodbye, out to the burn pile. Then in chapter 9, he gets into abominations. Yahweh's not too happy with abominations going on, especially in his temple area. And you wonder why he let the Babylonians take them all out, wipe out Jerusalem. And it was a horrible thing that happened. It wasn't good. It wasn't very pleasant. Neither was it later on in 70 A.D. when Jerusalem was destroyed majorly and the temple was destroyed completely, and every stone was left unturned of the temple. So that Wailing Wall doesn't fit to be part of the temple, does it? The Western Wall? Does it? You cannot find in Bible study the belief system that is currently in effect. Orthodox Judaism, I can certainly see Orthodox Judaism lying through their teeth when the nation of Islam comes up and all these Muslims are wanting to know where they can build something on a holy site. Do you blame them? But now the Christians picked up on this, and the whole world's picked up on this, and it's been such a huge lie for thousands of years that it's kind of hard to get out of a gigantic lie, isn't it? All right. Verse 7 in chapter 9. Then he said to me, "Defile the temple and fill the courts with the slain. Go." And they went out and began killing throughout the city. Now, as you go through chapter 9, you got to be thinking to yourself, these evil people are going through in the last days killing people and getting and actually, I think we better read that again, because what happened in the Babylonian situation and what happens in the future situation with the temple area, the abomination of desolation, especially if a very holy figure claiming to be the Messiah, the Antichrist, sets up a beautiful, by-the-book, Orthodox Judaism ritual slaughtering system, exactly the way it's supposed to be done by the Kohanim and all those Levites doing certain things, wearing certain clothes, saying certain things, wearing certain fringes on themselves, looking so holy, and sacrificing lambs for blood for sacrifice of the atonement. Right? That's not going to happen. Yet, well, it's going to happen. Is that Yeshua? No. Read chapter 9 and 10 again. Is that Yahweh destroying all kinds of people because they're defiling his land? It's his. Jerusalem is his, the whole thing. Not just the Temple Mount, the whole thing. The Ophel area, the city of David, Zion, all four quarters, it's all his. Even the military quartering station, which is called Dome of the Rock, but was actually where the Romans kept their 10 legions. Okay, that's all his. He's doing it. He's cleaning house. He's doing it. He's cleaning house. And who does he clean house first with? His own, the people who call him. But later on, that we'll read that these people in the temple area who say they're Jews are not, who have lineage that they claim but are not, who claim they love Yahweh when in fact they're atheistic. Yeah. The great majority, a good majority of the people since 1948, the key date, 1948, who were brought into the land were atheists who claimed to be Jews. From Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz is a family way back in the lineage from Abraham. Yeah, it is. And Adam and Eve and Cain. The name's in there. Ashkenaz. They went that way. And now they're called Ashkenaz. So it's very important that they come to the saving grace of Yeshua. They must come to the. It's not one they're going to get a pass fail. They're just going to, oh well, they get a free ticket through because they're Jewish blood. The Father says, guess what? They're not. They're liars. They're the synagogue of Hasatan, which also adds to, and I say very strongly as you keep reading through, the church of Satan. Because if these people in the pulpits are feeding the pack of lies to the sheep intentionally to cause them loss of salvation, that is the synagogue and that is the church of Hasatan. Pure and simple. You don't hear this in the mainline institutional churches. Once again, I'll just say it. There's little happy little churches out there that everybody sings and says, Kumbala all the time. But that's fine. Sings their same song. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. That's your Christians. And when wrath and tribulation comes, and they've not flown away, they're going to fall away from the faith. A great many of them are going to fall away from the faith because they finally said, this is not true. Everything I learned as a Christian is a total lie. And if it's your fault that you had something to do with it because you've watched this, go through all of it. Where am I at? 127? And I doubt there's anybody listening to me anymore that just I hate everything you say, Bruce. It's just not true. Well, prove it. I'm wanting you to prove it because I'm begging you to test everything I've said. Because I don't want people to go through their whole life being told a lie. It says in verse 19 in chapter 11, it's Yahweh, I will give them an echad heart. Echad, oneness. And I will put a new ruach in them. Very important. There's that promise. There's the millennium coming up, okay? Chapter 12. The word of Yahweh came to me, Son of man, you are living among rebellious people. They have eyes to see, but they do not see. Ears to hear, but they do not hear. But they are rebellious people. This book of Ezekiel is full of signs, full of incredible stories that are hard to believe for someone who doesn't have the faith. If you have the faith, it's not a problem at all. What we're going to see in the future is going to be stunning and wonderful and joyful and scary. We hope you're all there too, and I hope I'm there with you. So, until we meet again, we will start still in the second reading, the first scroll, and we'll be starting at chapter 13, 1, 2, 8. See you then.